Hello friends, welcome to the UPSC Prelims refresher course, and in today's video we'll be covering the Polity session number 3. So this refresher course is a series where we want to cover some of the high focus areas for the preliminary examination, some of the confusing topics, right? In Polity, confusion between various emergency provisions, right? Confusion between state and central provisions, right? And some of the repeating topics that keep occurring over the years, right? Like the emergency provisions, amendments, fundamental rights, TPSPs also. And there's like a quick bites, right? It's just to like a revision for you for the upcoming prelims examination. So the whole purpose is to put less effort and high written topics. So just brief introduction, myself Nitin, I'm an NIT, I am graduate, gave 6 mains and 1 interview, but could not make it to the final list. Some reasons were maybe handwriting was not very great compared to some of the toppers, what I see. Then I also changed optional from management to anthropology. Maybe could not get very high marks. And thirdly, I was also working and preparing. Maybe that did not help me well. So there's just a few lessons for you. These are some of my mains marks sheets. Okay, fundamental rights, right? Very, very, very important, both from prelims, mains, and even as a citizen and a student, very important topic. So where was it borrowed from? American Constitution, Bill of Rights, right? I think very common. And fundamental rights actually promote your political democracy, right? It gives you protection, it gives you rights in terms of political rights. However, the DPSPs, Directive Principle of State Promise, they promote social and economic democracy, right? Articles 38 onwards to Article 50, right? So they promote your social protections, economic policies, right to work, welfare of farmers, right to education. All of these fall under DPSP, right? So actually this question is asked multiple times by UPSC. So please be clear. Fundamental rights only, political democracy, okay? And which are the articles, fundamental rights, which is applicable only to citizens and not to foreigners, right? So Article 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30, right? These are applicable only to citizens, right? But the other articles, right? Article 21 is right to life. All of these are applicable for foreigners also. So for citizens, it's only 15, 16, 19, 29, and 30. Then even during national emergency under Article 352, right? Article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended, right? And as per the provisions of Article 359, right? So even whenever there's national emergency, 20 and 21 cannot be suspended, right? So that's slightly confusing. Many of the people believe that they can be suspended, but not for Articles 20 and 21. However, Article 19 is automatically suspended, right? During national emergency as per Article 358. Okay, so you see the comparison, right? Article 19, freedom of speech and expression, 21, right to life, right? So just be clear on this difference. It's very, very in the MCQs, so there'll definitely be statements like this. Then writs, articles 32. I think this again very important and confusing area. So habeas corpus, right? What does habeas corpus mean? Show me the body, right? So this can be issued against both public authorities and private individuals. Literally anybody, the court can issue a habeas corpus, right? However, mandamus, we command. So this cannot be issued against private individuals. So only it can be issued to public authorities, okay, not to the private individuals. Prohibition, right? And this is usually used in the judicial process only against judicial and quasi-judicial bodies, okay, and not administrative bodies, right? So also keep this clarity on what is judicial bodies and quasi-judicial bodies, right? Quasi-judicial bodies are other bodies which have the powers to enforce laws, like Election Commission of India, right? The National Green Tribunal, NGT, then Competition Commission of India, CCI. Okay, so all of these Competition Commission of India, yeah, CCS, all of these are quasi-judicial bodies. So there was one question in mains also on quasi-judicial body. Okay, anyway, sorry for deviating. Then certiorari, right? It's against judicial, quasi-judicial, as well as administrative bodies, right? This is the difference between prohibition and certiorari, right? But not for legislative and private individuals. So see the difference between these two. It's very close. And Q warranto. So what is your authority, right? That's what Q warranto. So only in case of substantive public office of permanent character, not against ministerial or private office. It's mainly against the government public office or administrative bodies. It can be enforced. Q warranto. So it's also very commonly appearing topics in the prelims exam. Okay, election to president and vice president, right? So I think whenever there is an election happening for the post of president or vice president, usually in those years there you'll have a question for them. So first look at the presidential election. So here nominated members, be that of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, do not take part, right? So in Rajya Sabha, the vice president appoints about 12 members, nominated members, so they do not take part in the presidential elections. Okay, so even in Lok Sabha, some Anglo-Indians earlier, there were some representatives nominated members. Even they do not take part in the presidential election. So all elected members of both houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and state assemblies elected members, mainly Vidhan Sabhas, they take part in the presidential election. Okay, so when we come for VP election, all members of both the houses, only Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, okay, nominated plus selected, right? Both take part in that, but no role of the states. The state Vidhan Sabha members, Vidhan Parishad members, right? They do not take part in the VP elections at all. So, but in the presidential election, even the state MLAs, member of legislative assemblies, they will be part of it. So how does the election take place? Proportional representation by single transferable vote. Right? This is a mode of election for the president and vice president. And how the vote is divided. Vote of all elected members of parliament. Okay, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha equal to vote of all elected members of all state legislative assembly across all the states. Okay, so this has equal weightage, and based on this, the proportional representation votes take place for the election of president and vice president. I hope this is clear. Let's move on. Governor and lieutenant governors, right? This is in topic for many years now due to the Delhi NCR issue between Arvind Kejriwal and the center. Okay, so a governor can be given responsibility of more than one state or union territories, right? So there are numerous cases there, and governor is appointed and removed by the president, right? And there is no ground mentioned for his removal. He can be removed anytime by the president of India. Okay, so there are so many recommendations by Sarkaria Commission, then Punshi Commission, then the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution of India. All of them have made various recommendations to make governors removal not arbitrary, right? To give them 5 years of tenure. Right? So there are so many recommendations, but still not implemented. Okay, and chief ministers of states are appointed by the governor, while chief minister of union territories, Delhi, Puducherry, etc., are appointed by the president, not lieutenant governor. Okay, So the president may nominate a particular lieutenant governor or anybody to address the oath of office, but he is appointed by the president's sign, right? Okay. Yeah, this is slightly off the beat topic, but very, very important. And there'll definitely be 2, 3 questions every year from the evolution of legislature during the British rule of India. So by the Act of 1858, British Crown directly took over the administration of India. Okay. So the Governor General was named as the Viceroy in the year 1958. So can you go back and research who was the first Governor General of Bengal, who was the first Governor General of India, who was the first Viceroy of India? Okay, so just check it. Definitely there will be some repetitive questions that can come, and these are easy questions which most of them will get it right in the exam. Okay, you can't afford to make a mistake, right? And this is Government of India Act 1909, Morley Minto reforms, right? Introduce a concept of separate electorate for Muslims, right? So this is a major important step that was taken in the year 1909. In year 1919, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, right? They separated the central provisional subjects, right? What we have today, the center and stateless, was initially was done in the year 1919, and they also introduced the concept of diarchy in provinces, right? So, and this was later changed in the year 1935. Okay, so diarchy of provinces, right? They created two separate lists, one directly managed by the executive and one by the elected members. Okay, it's mainly to differentiate. Mainly the governor took control over major powers, right? Only and few of the areas like irrigation, etc., were provided to the elected members to legislate. That's what it caused a lot of resistance and lot of pushback from the Indians. So Government of Act, India Act 1935, they create three lists, federal, provincial and concurrence list as well, and provided for provincial autonomy in the various different provinces. Okay, and also in 1935, diarchy was initially interested in provinces, but diarchy was interested in the federal system, right? Not in the provinces. Okay, so this evolution again is very, very important areas, right? So, and it is, you have to remember it like a story, how it has moved right from the year 1858 or after the 1757, after the Battle of Plassey, how things change. So if you remember it as a story, it will be very easy for you to attempt in the preliminary examination. I hope this helps. So I'll come back with the next video shortly. Thank you for watching.